Vedant, welcome to the second segment of the club meeting. And now I'm getting this opportunity to interview the MSD, the Rahuls, and the Saurav all in one. Okay. So the first question to you, Vedant, is sports journalism, right? Was it destined or it was a default for you?
I think it's fair to say that it was destined. I'll tell you why. I was 7 years old back in 2003. I started to watch cricket with my father. And I still remember that we were watching a game, India versus Pakistan. Shoaib Akhtar was bowling to Sachin Tendulkar and he played that cut. I remember it so vividly. It was a 2003 World Cup game. And I think since then I've been following cricket just for the love of cricket. Then I completed my schooling. I completed my graduation. I was in last year of my graduation where I had to take a big call, whether I have to do my master's in economic honors or probably do company secretary. Sports was never in line, but I remember watching another game with my father where it was India versus Australia test match, where my father just said that, how about if you are able to predict this game so well, how about you write about it? And I was like, I'm never good with writing. I was never good with speaking as well. So I was like, I cannot write about this game. I think I can just analyze. Then he just gave me a tip that if you will write about it, I'll probably try and get your article published in a newspaper. I was like, my article getting published in a newspaper, it was a really big thing for me. And then everything changed for me. I took 1.5 days to write that article. That article got rejected by all media houses. I was shaken. Reason being, I was questioned on my analysis. I was questioned on how bad my writing skills was. I was questioned on the timing. It was coming after 1.5 days. So I was very dejected and I came to my father that I told you that it's better to follow economic honors, it's better to follow CS. He said, if you have written this article, how about you just post it on Facebook? And I ended up posting that on Facebook, and somebody, why I'm telling you that it's destined, somebody from Cric Tracker, my first company, saw that article. He was in my friend list and he just saw that I've written an article. On that day itself, he messaged me on Messenger that how about you come and write for us? And that changed everything for me. I was not a good writer, but I was very, very passionate. I was all set to leave the writing field, which I had just started, but I continued only because my father said that if you have written this article, how about you just post it on Facebook? And I ended up doing that, and that changed my life from, I think, up to toe. So I believe in destiny. I still feel that it was meant to happen. Otherwise, I would have just deleted that article, probably continued with masters in economic honors, but that had to happen. I think everything which happens in my life, at least I believe that it's destiny which is taking me there. Even this conversation, meeting you, meeting Shubham, meeting other guys, meeting Mukeshji, Surbhi, I think this is all destined. So I still believe that sports happened to me by destiny. You are on mute.
Wow, incredible story, Vedant. I must say this from nowhere. And the moment you said, na, CS, na, the eyes of Surbhi lit up. All right. So we got this idea how you landed up into the sports journalism, maybe because of the Facebook, right? That gave you a chance so that people could see your passion in writing. But again, that was the first step in this direction to become a to get into this sports industry. But as we feel from outside that the path in this industry is not very clear, unlike in other fields like you pursue medicine or you pursue accountancy or engineering or any other field, the path seems to be quite clear. The vision is clear how your life is going to progress once you get into the sector. But in sports industry, it's not very clear, at least it's to us, those who are not into the field. So how did you plan for it? After getting into it, you just took things as they come by, or you planned it in advance where you want to move in your life?
See, it was actually a blend of both. I did plan that how I want to see myself over the years, but I did not plan every step. Okay, and you are absolutely right. I think it's not as clear as CA, where you have to do the CPT and then IPCC and then you do final and you then get the degree and start your career. Not as clear at medicine as well. Sports journalism is different. Sports journalism can happen even without a degree in hand. I don't have a journalism degree, but I'm still a journalist. So things can happen if you have passion. And I believe that when it comes to sports, the primary criteria is not about whether you have the degree or not. It's about whether you can analyze the game better than the other individuals who are there in the market. Will people read what you have written? Will people listen to what you are saying? If you have that power with your writing skills, if you have that power when it comes to your speaking skills, I think this is the field for you. There are no steps at all. Even at the age of 16, 17, you can start the career. You can just, I think YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, these are very good platforms where you can just go out there, express your thoughts, or maybe just make a video, post there, make people see how good you are, how bad you are. And then eventually you will be in a position to figure out whether this is the field for you or not. So it does not require any prerequisites. It just requires a couple of things. One is passion, of course. And then second, as I said before, if you can analyze the game better than others in the market, I think people will definitely listen to you. I think there was one thing common between Shubham, Mukesh, and I think Surbhi as well. All of them mentioned the face. Mukesh and Shubham mentioned about Harsha Bogle. Surbhi mentioned about Mandira Bedi. And that actually shows that if people are able to analyze the game better than others, they are known in the market. So I think that is the only prerequisite you require in sports journalism.
Wow. So passion is the keyword that you
Absolutely.
impressed upon like so many times. So then again, the question comes that when did that realization happen? Because in childhood, like when you are into your, say, 16, 70s, now, you are get influenced by so many things that you feel passionate about multiple things then. So when that realization happened to you, and because at times what happens, many years go by and we don't even realize what passion we have, right? So that realization also doesn't come as early in life as it came to you. So how did you realize that, okay, this is my passion, now let me put everything set aside and let me focus on this passion?
Yeah, I believe I see it in two ways. One is, this is the only thing that I know, so it's better to continue with that. So I focus on that. Second, when it comes to passion, you start realizing when you are doing stuff, even when you are on your off days. So I'll tell you an interesting story. I was working with Cric Tracker back in 2017, and we had a competition between the writers that let's see as which writer ends up writing most number of articles in this day. And there were a lot of writers who used to write very fast. There were a lot of writers who used to write good copies. And then there were writers like me who just used to write for 8-9 hours, do 8-9 copies a day, and then just go. That was the day where we had a competition that who will write most number of copies. And there was no time limit. You can work for 24 hours. Is somebody saying something? Okay. You can work for 24 hours, but let's see who writes most number of copies. Mukul, would you mind going on mute, please? Thank you. Yeah. So it was just about who can write most number of copies. And I ended up writing the most number of copies and took most amount of time as well. I was working for 22 hours that day. I just did it because it was sheer passion, sheer love for the game, and I wanted to win that competition. And that was the day I realized that I am not doing this just for my job. I am not just doing it because India is playing against XYZ team. I am doing it for this lovely sport called cricket. And that made me realize that if I'm not seeing time, if I'm going out of the box, if I'm missing birthday parties, if I'm not hanging out with my girlfriend, if I'm not going out with my parents, and still focusing on what I actually love without even seeing how much money is getting credited into my account for that, I think that is passion. And that is where I realized that it's above all of it. And that makes a person different from others. I never focused on money at the start of my career. I never focused on timing as how when I'm starting and when I'm ending that day. And I never focused on what my peers are doing. I focused on myself. And that's in these three things, I realized that I am doing things differently from how others are approaching it. And that's where I think it was just passion which was driving me.
Wow. I think you have given us a beautiful tools to find out that whatever we think is our passion is really is our passion. If you're not running behind and not chasing time and money is not a factor, if the sole reason of doing a thing is internal, your own inner self, then this is an indication that perhaps this is the passion you have, right? So very well said, Vedant, and I think extremely simply you explained it for all to understand this. Now I'll move to the next question, and next question is, in your CV, there is a term written as BCCI accredited journalist. So we earlier we just knew that journalist is a journalist. So what is this BCCI accredited journalist, and how that happened to you? You pursued some study, you enrolled for any course in order to get this certification?
So I'll tell you what BCCI accreditation is all about. Accreditation is basically an ID that you get. And that ID you get from BCCI, the Board of Control for Cricket in India. If you are a journalist, you can always apply for that. And basically that accreditation is for the people who get a chance to cover those games from ground. Okay, so not everybody who is in this field gets a BCCI accreditation. You need to spend some years in the industry. You need to work for good brands to get that accreditation. And accreditation is nothing vivid. It's just an open door which helps you to cover those games from ground, get to interview those players, get to attend those press conferences, and be a part of any communication coming from BCCI. So for example, when a squad is announced, say India's squad for New Zealand series is announced, you guys get to know when the news channels get it out. You guys get to know when BCCI has done a tweet. We get to know about it 15 minutes prior to when it is made public for everybody. We get a chance for to attend the press conferences. We get a chance to interview the players. We get a chance to attend the training sessions, and then of course be in the press box and analyze the game. So all of it happens after you've spent some time in the industry. There is a form that needs to be filled. This happens once in a year, and that helps you to cover the games annually. So all the games which happen on Indian soil, the person who is a BCCI accredited journalist has an opportunity to go at that ground and cover it from ground zero. And that is all about BCCI accredited journalist. So it's a little different to how the other journalists are.
So you get to know about the team 15 to 20 minutes earlier. So do you play these dream 11s in fantasy teams, make your teams? Because you have a better idea in that case.
No, so we get to know about the squads 15 minutes prior, but when it comes to playing 11, it's almost similar to when you guys get to know. And I think when it comes to these fantasy apps, it's not the analysis which makes you win. I think it's the luck that makes you win.
Correct, absolutely. Now, coming back to the interviewing part of yours, so who was the first celebrity you interviewed?
I interviewed Ganesh Satish from Karnataka. He's a Ranji player, and I interviewed him. I think Ganesh Satish was the first one.
All right, Ganesh. And the second one?
Second one, that's a tough one. I think I don't remember. I think it was I don't remember the second one.
All right. So, did you do any practice or some preparation before interviewing, or just happened that way? Like, okay, he's come and I'll interview, or you did some homework before interviewing him?
A lot of homework, actually, a lot of homework, because I was very, very nervous. I was like, I'm interviewing a Ranji player. How will he react to my questions? Whether my questions will be taken in right manner or not. So I ended up doing a lot of research around him. Went to Wikipedia, went to his last prior interviews that he has given, making my own notes, making those questions in the best way, cramming those questions so that I don't make any mistake when I in front of Ganesh Satish. So I was very nervous. So I made a lot of efforts, but over the years I've realized that I don't do any preparations. So even coming into this, I did not do any preparation. I was like, I'll just go out there, speak my heart out, and see what exactly happens. And on the other side as well, I realized that it's better to be more candid in nature rather than just speaking whatever you have learned over the years. So I did a lot of preparations for the first 5-10 interviews, but after that I just stopped it.
That's became part of your DNA then. So it just comes naturally then.
So I'll tell you why. If I see it from the user point of view, for example, you want to watch an interview. If it comes to Virat Kohli, if it comes to KL Rahul, if it comes to say Rahul Dravid, you already know who is Virat Kohli. Okay, you already know who is KL Rahul. You already know who is Rahul Dravid. Of course, you don't want an interviewer to ask about his personal life. For example, you don't want to ask that, KL Rahul, you got out from Shaheen Shah Afridi, and you don't want to ask the information which is already available on internet. People want spice. Okay, people want to see the candid conversation which is coming out. If you remember, there is a sports anchor called Gaurav Kapoor, who started off his own YouTube channel by the name Breakfast with Champions, and he used to do interviews with all these players, and it was all candid in nature, which people just loved it, because nobody wants to see how many hundreds Virat Kohli has scored. Nobody wants to see probably what Virat Kohli has said in the last interview. People want to have that heart-to-heart conversation. People want to see that. Okay. And that is what makes these interviews different from others. So that's what I realized, that content is something which is coming out from heart and not out of the preparations that you do at home. So keep it as simple as possible. Keep it as candid as possible. Take out something from the conversation that you are having, and then it will make a very, very special conversation. So yeah, I've been following that.
Yes. So I hope we are trying to be as candid as we can with you.
Absolutely.
All right. So next thing we learned in your CV is called as Sports Tiger. Product head Sports Tiger. So could you please tell us about the tiger?
So before telling about Sports Tiger, I want to tell you that after completing my stint with News Nation, I came back to my home city, Jaipur. I started to work with My Team 11. My Team 11 is basically a fantasy application, and I was heading the content and communications for them. For a couple of months, I was enjoying, but in the third month, I decided it's better to move from here, because the content and communication job was not that much. And early in my career, I did not want to just sit and get the money. I wanted to work as much as possible. So I went to the founders. I said that it's better that I resign and you can get somebody else into this job. Then he said that, why do you want to resign? I said, this is the reason. I think I'm not enjoying the job that much. It is just getting paid without even working for those 9 hours properly. So he said, how about Vedant, we start something together. You don't leave the company. As like I getting an opportunity to try something within this company, I think that will be really, really good idea at the start and the initial phase of my career. That's where Sports Tiger actually came into place. This is my brainchild. Sports Tiger, we have been working on this idea from September 2019. It got into existence in February 2020. And Sports Tiger is basically a one-stop content platform where you get news around all sports, where you get interviews around players, where you get statistics, where you get live scores, So basically, Sports Tiger is a one-stop application, one-stop website, which gives you anything and everything around sports. So it's been 2.5 years of our existence. And last month, just to tell you also that I get some more users there, we recorded 1 crore users on our platform. So that is the amount of audience which is actually coming on our platform to consume content. So that's how Sports Tiger actually happened.
Wow, that's quite interesting. That's indeed quite, and I don't think like we have many such forums available where you get one stop all updates from all the news. So
Yeah.
I hope you're enjoying this stint with Sports Tiger, right? And how did this name come up, Sports Tiger? Any story behind this? Because it's quite an unusual name, like Sports and Tiger.
So there is a big story around it. I'll tell you. The story is we had finalized the product. We know what is our business model, how we were able to earn from this. The only thing we were not able to get was the name of the product. And me, along with the founders of My Team 11, we did a lot of brainstorming. We came up with the mindset that how about we keep it Sports Network. We ended up buying that domain as well. Then we also bought Sports 24/7. Then we bought a couple of more domains. But then we realized that it's not connecting to the tier that we want to connect with, the Sports Network. I think it would be really good name if it was in Australia or England. But if you want to connect with your audience, you need to make that brand a little bit catchy, and catchy in a way that people are like, okay, this is not a brand which is coming from America. This is not a brand which is coming from Mumbai. This is a brand which is coming from Jaipur. And that's where we decided that how about we do Sports Tiger, because Tiger is always known to be the best. I think he's better than Lion. And then the tier 2, tier 3 cities, they love names like these. Sports Tiger, they would love it more than the Sports Network or the Sports 24/7. They don't want that, quote unquote, I'll not say it. They want things very simple. They want things very catchy. And that's where we decided that how about we just keep it. And then at the end of it, Vivek, a brand gets known if the brand is doing well. Nobody would have thought Swiggy will be Swiggy until Swiggy became Swiggy. Nobody would have thought Zomato is a great name until Zomato became a great name. Okay. Nobody would have thought that Uber is a good name until everybody downloaded the application and it became a one-stop platform for them. So rather than copying someone, so a lot of people gave us an idea that how about you keep Sports Buzz, because Cric Buzz is already doing really well. Sports Buzz, people will be able to relate a lot, but we don't want our brand to actually be a copy of another brand. We want a brand to have its own existence. And that's how we focused on Sports Tiger. We knew that if we will do great work, then irrespective of the kind of name that we have, people will recognize us. And thankfully, the God has been kind. We are getting some great attraction.
Yes, and indeed, you are the tiger in the industry. Right. So, where is the office, and like, is it all in Jaipur, or you have got like units and setups outside India as well?
No, we have an office in Jaipur only. We are a team of 40 individuals working towards the product. The office is based out of Gandhi Path in Vaishali Nagar.
All right, Gandhi Path, Vaishali. All right. So, my final question to you, Vedant, it's been a very interesting conversation, and your journey in this field, indeed an inspiring journey. And I would recommend that whenever you get time, I know you are quite occupied with your passion, but if you get a time, then do write a book also, right? It's going to inspire others also. And the passion, how to identify one's passion and then pursue it without getting distracted. I think this is one message that we can learn from your journey so far. And wish you all the very best.